Right. Where is?
So this is next. This previous slide. Next slide. Laser. Next slide. Laser.
Yeah, if you change the something. You want to listen to me or what?
Apa salahnya?
There's a tree there. You must, okay, University, MST. The last one is number 4.
I can see.
Below that.
This is just
Okay, see. So all of them are PhD students.
Yes.
These are the qualified one. Professor and okay. Okay, apologize for delay, a little bit delay. I'm not very familiar with your traffic. I'm familiar with the place, but not the traffic. So if you enter the wrong entrance and went the wrong exit and the wrong up and down, so I thought I should make it in 1 hour, but sorry, could not make it in 1 hour. Okay, I am Zainal. I'm here to discuss with you on qualitative research. That was what I was told. And you gave me 2 hours, human being. Anything more than 40 minutes is ridiculous, right? So especially the people behind. So you got your laptop ready just to check on what I'm going to say. So anything I say there, if you are not sure about the terminology, you better quickly check on your Google to see what I say is wrong or can be improved, right? So you are from China, okay. Oh, I did not know Chinese can see something against this pillar. So I'm worried. You have got that expertise. Hello, hey. You are here, hello. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Just warming up. You want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say something. I need to say something about this gentleman. A very good morning to all of you. Respected Prof. Zainal, Dr. Ben, Dr. Harvey, yeah. Prof. Joe, you keep quiet silently. Your friend here, right? Colleague. Prof. Joe, silently sitting down there. Yeah. Okay. Good morning to all of you, dear students, PhD. Are you all still active here? Active, huh? Good, great. Glad to see you all back and back again, coming back to the colloquium session. Now, today we got another one more speaker, a very interesting character. Interesting character. I think I'm obligated to share why I say that. This is my relationship with him. Started way back. Yeah? That was 1998 when I finished my MBA in UUM. Yeah, 1998 I completed my MBA in University of Utara, Malaysia. And during that time, he was assigned to UUM. I think maybe for about 5 years or what, something like that in UUM. And he was taking one of the subjects for my MBA. So I liked his lecture. So upon completing my MBA, then I went to him because I was already having in my mind to do my PhD. So I went to him. I said, Prof, I think I like your subject, and I want to do my PhD. So can you help me, to be my supervisor? I asked him. He told me, yes, just give me a minute. Then he went and he checked his records on my performance in his subject. Yeah, he checked, and then he responded to me, yes, I'm willing to take you as a student to be with me. However, I am leaving UUM, he said. In a couple of months, I'm leaving UUM. and I'm going back to UPM. Originally, I think it's from UPM. Huh? So he said, I'm going back to UPM. Unless you want to do in UPM, yes, I'm willing to take you as my student for PhD. Yeah? So then I said, Prof, I don't think so because I'm from Penang. I would rather prefer to do somewhere in Kedah or Penang, the northern part of Malaysia. But you know what? Knowing the fact that I'm not going to join UPM to be a student, he sat down the day together with me in his room and he spent 2 hours, and I didn't even have an appointment with him. He to spend 2 hours with me and draw a framework for me. And that time, seriously, I really don't know what is theoretical framework. I really don't know. And he was taking a piece of paper and he draw and he said this, and he was explaining. Frankly speaking, I was only able to grab maybe about 15 to 20% of what you were saying, because he was talking very high level. Yeah. But I sat down and then I got some message from him, and he gave me the insight of what PhD is all about and how much of dedication you need to put. And after that, he moved to Penang, and the last, when I left him that day in his office in UUM, he told me, if you are going to do it in UUM or Penang, I would recommend that you go and see Professor Muhammad Sulaiman. You go and see Professor Muhammad Sulaiman, who is in USM, who will be able to help you through. Yeah? And that's how I also decided that I should go to Professor Muhammad Sulaiman, and I took my candidature with him. Yeah. So that is the relationship that I had with this gentleman here today, and I'm very happy, Prof, to get you to be here with us, and I'm very sure how you have helped me in my initial stage of my PhD. Yeah, even though not my supervisor, but you took the time to sit down and explain to me, drawing the framework. It's tough, putting the framework and then explaining is tough. But he did it, and there's no binding between both of us. Yeah, he's not my supervisor, got nothing, but then he did it for me. So today with us, and today he is the president and leading the case study research for Malaysia. So we are very fortunate to have him here, and I strongly believe that he's going to add value to your mission as a student. And second is, for those of you who are still in the beginning stage, yeah, contemplating whether you should do a qualitative or quantitative PhD, this is the best opportunity for you to really know what is the difference and how much of time or what is the right approach that you need to take. Yeah. So without any further delay, I would now hand the mic over to Prof. Zainal, who is going to take you through. I'm sure he's going to add big value for you. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So he remembered about 50% what I said, and I can't remember anything what I said. Not because of anything, because I am now by Joy. I didn't see him just now. Anyway, we are about the same contemporary. I think I'm older than you, yeah. So we're reaching the 7 series. You're talking about BMW, right? Okay, then it's good you are 7 series, but then the cost is also quite high. Right? Okay. Okay, quickly for the, sorry, I have to concentrate on the PhD student, right? And these are all the PhD students, right? Anything in front, PhD student, that group? All PhD candidate? Okay. Now, and if I ask questions, because I said, I can't get your attention for more than 40 minutes. So therefore I have to walk around and I'll be asking questions here and there, for that you will be, your adrenaline will always be up. So you wouldn't know when it will be asked. Right, for example, the last 4, 2, 4, 5. So I always go for the last row. So the last row, if you want to change forward, please come forward, so that I would not ask you.
So you're giving them an option.
I give them an option first. But then, sorry, it's all filled up, so you have to stay at the last row. And we want to move. I assume your English, you can understand my slang, right? So although I am a Javanese from Tepahat, my slang is still a bit off. Okay, the last four, all of you students or all lecturers here? All students, okay. How many of you are doing qualitative analysis? How many are you? You all doing quantitative analysis? The front four, any qualitative? No, don't be scared because you don't want to say qualitative. I might ask you another question. That's why you don't want to put out your hand. Well, anyway. All right. Anybody? These are all qualitative people. 2, 4, 5. Is it? All right. No, don't worry. No answer is wrong. Believe me, at this level, right? No answer is wrong. So you don't have to worry. And any answer is not wrong, then you, in Islam, we say you dapat pahala. You get your reward in the hereafter for sharing that knowledge. Okay, quickly to the four of you. When we talk about qualitative analysis, what comes to your mind? The four of you. What comes to your mind? Anybody? Four, please. Yeah, what comes to your mind when you talk about qualitative analysis? Qualitative, right?
Sort of Delphi study.
Sort of?
Delphi study.
Self-case study.
Delphi.
Delphi is, yeah, qualitative. You say Delphi case study. What is Delphi?
Expert study.
Oh, okay, expert case study. Okay, never mind. So case study is to you that comes to your mind. Fine. And still I'm going back to the four of you. What comes to your mind when you talk about exploratory study? Anybody? 4, 5, 6? Because you look at me as if you got the answer. Yeah, what's the answer? No? Yes? What's it? What comes to your mind when you talk about qualitative study? What comes to your mind? Case study is one. Anything else? Don't tell me you come here blank. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Interview. So interview is one of the things that comes to your mind when you talk about qualitative study. Interview, case study. Ladies and gentlemen, anything? What comes to your mind when you talk about qualitative study? Sorry? A lot of theory, okay? I'm saying it's not wrong, but doesn't mean it's right. Before I ask our expert here. Today we will save him for the last. All right, okay. Anything? Okay, that's it. Yes? Sorry? Oh? Follow certain standard. If you want to do qualitative, you have to follow certain standard. All right, okay. So study, case study, fine. Interview, fine. Anything else? Sorry? Introduction. So what about introduction in qualitative? Okay, the right side ready. I'm going to the right, don't worry. Yes? Sorry? Social marketing. So you want to do a qualitative study. So what is that? What comes to your mind? Interpretive. Interpretive. Okay, fine. Everything is interpretive. Everything is also inductive. You want to induce something. Fine, good. Okay. To the right side of the pillar. Yes, sir. Confirmation of theory, and you want to do it qualitative way. You can also confirm theory by quantitative way, right? Right, fine. Anybody here? Anything to add? Please, so that I can last the 2 hours. You know, I cannot last the 2 hours. Sorry? Sir? Survey. Yeah, survey, questionnaire, that's your methodology. That's the tool that you are going to use. Fine. Right, so anyway, just for a start, so I'll be going around, if you don't mind, asking you questions, and we will also get the support of the lecturer to support you if the answer is not coming. Okay. So, therefore, my objective is to discuss about qualitative study. You don't have the note, right? Sorry? Observational, fine. So your method of data collection is through observation. Your method of data collection is through interview, right? Your method of data collection is through some survey. Okay, those are not collecting data. Also do the same thing, right? right? So therefore, quanti and quali, there's a lot of overlap, and we want today to differentiate qualitative and quantitative. Well, anyway, what qualitative? There are a lot of definition, as you said, right? But to me, if you ask me, Zainal, what is your understanding of qualitative analysis? My first word that comes into my mind is exploratory. Right? And what is exploratory? Explore. Explore what? What theory to explore? Exploratory means explore what? Right? So anyway, whatever you have, when you want to do exploratory, the issue that you want to handle, the issue that you want to settle is something that has not been very clearly understood. Clearly understood means, therefore, it is still vague. Right? Because it is vague, then we want to explore further. So that gives you a reason why you want to do qualitative study. Right? If it is not structured, then it is something that we would like to go deeper into what exploratory studies is all about. So these are some of the things that we will discuss. It is use inductive and investigative strategy. So you investigate. Just like a police, just like a custom officer, who else investigate? Just like a father investigating the daughter who comes back late. I don't know. I don't have my daughter that young anymore. Okay, so that's investigation. So you ask questions to her, you ask questions to the importer, you ask questions to the smuggler because you want to investigate, right? Before the law comes into view, so the lawyer makes a decision, they do the investigation, and that's all a lot more on exploratory. So we use inductive. Inductive means you induce from the information that we gather, we're going to induce something. Because we explore. Why we explore? Because people do not know about the area that you're interested in. Or people are not clear about the area that you're interested in, therefore you need to explore. That's why we call it exploratory. And exploratory is something that is still not very clear, and therefore you have to do a qualitative approach to your analysis. So other than inductive, richly descriptive in nature. Out of the 24 PhD students that I supervised, two that failed, or didn't make it. Both of them are in the qualitative area. Why? Well, they failed. Why? Is it because of the supervisor? Of course, it's because of the supervisor. And also the students, their part there, descriptive in nature. If you're not strong in the power of your language to describe what you have found, you probably have a lot of difficulties, right? Because your examiner are somebody who probably is interested in your area, so he wants to know more about what you have explored, and your English and the power of you trying to tell what you have found and the power that you have to describe what you have discovered is very important. Then only they will appreciate what you have done is really inductive. You can induce a lot of things. So therefore, the richly descriptive is very, very important. Usually, the database, the data that you get is a lot more than what you finally write. That's why, preferably, if you give me a choice, I would prefer to do quantitative rather than qualitative. But unfortunately, when I was doing my PhD, my supervisor said, Zainal, sorry, there is nobody have done this kind of work. You cannot do a quantitative analysis. What do I do, Prof? Well, you have to go into the qualitative. What is qualitative? So at that point in time, 1988, 1984, right? And qualitative analysis is still not it's still very new. So therefore, I had to struggle in that sense. So whatever it is, so that's what we did. And therefore, at the end of the day, I did 14 case studies. So my research under PhD in Edinburgh is based on 14 case studies. So is that good or is that qualitative? Yes, because there's no systematic right? The world is not fixed. Sorry, we have a lot of quantitative. I am also a quantitative person, right? But at the end of the day, we do qualitative because everything is not rigid. Right? If you want to measure something, everything is not measured. If you want to do social science, customer behavior, SQL or whatever we call customer service, etc. So there are very specific items that you have to measure for you to be able to qualify, say that you have done a good quantitative analysis of the customer. That is if they are fixed. But in real life, this is what we have found. The world is not fixed. It's not rigid. Does not have only one measurable, only have few measurable, right? And so a lot of us are positivists, good in that sense because we are very determined what we want to do. So the scientists are more positivists. The social scientists also claim that some of them want to be positivists if they are clear of what study they want to. Okay, anyway, this is just to understand the basic background of what we want to find out. So it's a simple thing, but you want to find depth in your analysis, right? Because you want to find depth, therefore you cannot ask them straightforward, simple question in the questionnaire or in the survey, right? And this is where the interview comes into the picture, because when you interview, you are able to discuss longer, probe into whatever thing that you do not understand, so that his experience is very important, the respondent, and because of that, we want to talk about the depth of understanding. Researcher, I think this is all very familiar. Those who want to do qualitative, right? So please be ready for you to do it alone. Being alone, you don't have numerators to go and send in your questionnaire for the 300 samples that you wanted, right? Or by mail, or by online, or monkey survey, right? So those are all easy. But that is if it is quantitative, you know what you want to do, then you can do that. But as far as qualitative is concerned, you do not know. Therefore, you do not know. The question you ask are probably same. But once you ask the first question, your next question the next question that follows need not be the same because they depend on the answer of the respondent. That's why the sample size in qualitative is much, much different than if it is in quantitative. Why? Because we say we want to go in depth of understanding. Right, so we'll talk about the tools later on. So researcher, primary, and deductive process, okay, that one. So your hypothesis and theories in qualitative usually comes at the end. Not at the start. In quantitative, even under your chapter 2, your literature review, at the end of the literature review, you got an idea of what are the variables that you want to study, and what are the hypotheses that you want to propose, and what are the dependent variable and independent variable that you have got in your mind. That's quantitative. I think those who are familiar with that, so I hope you can understand and follow when we'll ask questions after that. Right? So you want to know later, hopefully I can also attempt to answer that. But at the moment, our theory and our hypothesis do not come at the early part of your analysis. Because we do not know. We want to explore. If you want to explore, what do you want to explore? I do not know what I want to do, but I want to explore. Therefore, if you want to explore, you do not have a very clear framework. That's why in your qualitative study, we do not call it, so there's two words, research framework and conceptual framework. If you go for research framework, that means you're very sure what you want to do. That's what your framework is going to do, and that's what your research, you know the dependent and independent variable. But if you talk about conceptual framework, it's just concepts. It's a concept. Therefore, your exploratory study say, this is the concept that I have in mind. Where do you get that? So this is probably what you want to further study. You want to find what are the variables. I do not know what the variables are until I finish my study. My survey will be finished, then I know my variable. At the moment, I do not know what are the variables. I know the possible variables. There could be 10, 12, 15 variables. But we do not know which one is going to play a important role, and that's why you investigate. Right? So that's 4 slides. Anything to stop here? Question? So the last sentence again goes back to your language. Right? Remember previously we talked about most are richly descriptive in nature, and therefore now we talk about final products are richly descriptive. rarely in every study, at the end of the day, we have got this is the multiple regression with all the coefficient of determination, etc. Right? And therefore, you confidently tell your client that is where your dependent variable is, and those are the independent variables are. Therefore, we can plan what we want to do. That's quantitative. But in qualitative study, sorry, right, we just tell you among the 5 or 6 different case study that we did, these are the different findings, and we have to explore further to validate what we have found. And we have at the end of the day, all are descriptive in nature. That's all. All right, stop me anywhere you want. The design for our exploratory study, the design for our qualitative study are also different. All right, so the fact that we want to explore means that that particular phenomena or that particular situation or that particular relationship is just being discovered or has just been highlighted, and we want to find further what happened actually behind the scene. If I may talk about corruption, okay, I'm not into politics, so don't worry about that. So if you want to talk about corruption, if you want to study about corruption, then what do? So we explore, right? And the people of, sorry if I may say, the people that we have got some research on corruption, right? Financed by the CWGS, or not, financed by the FRGS. And when we explore the people who are in the Kajang, and a lot of them, 7 of them are highly professionals, and they are in there. So please, Zainal, go and investigate these 7. Why did they do all the things that they are supposed to do or not supposed to do? Right? 90% of them, if I can say, I talk about the Muslims, right? 90% of them are all religious. 90% are all religious. But when you talk about religiosity, all of them, okay, we've got 2 non-Muslims also in Kajang, and they are also Buddhist and 1 Christian. Right? And they are, well, I pray, yes, I know what is a good thing, what are the bad things. But what happened then? This is where we want to investigate. We're going to explore. The common understanding today is that you go for corruption because you need that extra revenue or whatever you call it, because of the world today talks a lot of the things that you want to do in life before you finish your life, right? Anyway, so we talk about here poorly understood phenomena. We understand the phenomena, but it is poorly understood. We talk about it, yes, but it is poorly understood. That means it has not been thoroughly researched into. There might be new variables that we want to find out, and the literature doesn't say so. So what are they? So that's why we want to investigate. And so sampling becomes a very big issue. For your quantitative study, we will ask you, how did you get your sampling? Right? It is random sampling, good. How did you do your random sampling? Oh, I just do it randomly, okay, fine. Who did it for you? My brother. Where? In a foreign country, good. And how do you know he did it randomly? I asked him to do random sampling. Okay, good. And how did he did it? Do you know? Yes. He is the head of 1 bank. So he called all the 7 departments in the bank, distribute 10 questionnaires to each of the head of the department. Please distribute to your staff. And then you got all the 10? Yes, I go 100% return. And you got that random sampling? Yes, sir. Now that's random. If that is random sampling, then unfortunately, he had to struggle a bit more to convince us that what he did is not wrong. Anyway, for qualitative analysis, random sampling is not what we want, because we want to find information. We want to seek the correct information about the phenomena, about the issue that we want to settle, right? So therefore, the sampling must be, if we want to sampling, it must be purposive. Purposive to meet the objective or your qualitative analysis, or your qualitative study, or your exploratory study just now. So that's why we are going for purposive and not random sampling. Purposive means with purpose, right? So you give to your bank, fine, because your research is on the bank, fine. So your bank is your good case. Who did you give to? The head of department. Is that purposive? Yes, I want to have a person who knows about what we are discussing. And then the bank department head give to the right 10 person in the department. Should be, how do you know? Because these are the characteristics I want the respondents to have. Therefore, I'll tell the head department, please select the 10 who have these characteristics. So, therefore, that is not random sampling, sir. Oh, is that so? Then what is that? That's purposive. Okay, then I did purposive sampling. So, change that in your methodology. So, he wrote random, but actually he did purposive. Anyway, we are just trying to, correct, well, not correct, we want to improve on the thesis that he or she has written. Get massive information through purposive, okay, that's what we have. The data collection method is different. You mentioned just now interviews, observation, right? So rightly you observe, and first-hand encounter. That's why for us to get first-hand encounter, primary data is not that easy, right? I'm now doing, well, your president got it last month, right? Under the Quam conference. They were excited about the findings of the 6 case study. The Ministry asked us, get another 12. Oh, get another 12 ex-president who can talk about the leadership in the academic institution. So we had to ask for the 12. Yeah, finally we got an extra 12 because they looked at the 6, they thought, well, this is very interesting for future leaders of academic institution to use case study for their training. At the moment, we do not have. So we have that 6 now, so they're asking for another 12. So unfortunately, as mentioned, I am Hussein, Dr. Hussein also partly responsible, being in the case Writers Association of Malaysia. All right, so I have to therefore deliver that. I told the ministry, yeah, we can do that, but no problem. If it is, this is where we are very stingy. What is the reward? Reward means output of the case is a reward, but then we are all very stingy. We are all very, very, very materialistic. How much are you going to pay us for that? So we are going to spend time to go and interview these 12 ex-chancellor, president of all the various universities. So we went through, right, a few are not very well, being very senior, but we got the 12 that responded and said, yes, okay, we will be participating, but you have to come and interview. Can you write? No, I'm not going to write what my experience is. You come and get the information from me, right? So that's where the interview comes in. If I ask them to write and they write, if you write, I think that's very limited. So all of us are given 1 MP4 each. That's cost around 2005. MP4 is the recorder that you want to use for taping the conversation that I'm going to have between me and the client. So the 12 former president, former vice chancellor, former chairman will be. We are only 4 out of the 12, so 9 more to go. But each one have got different. 4 members will be handling. So those are trying to get information on interviews. While interviewing, that's why when I said to Tan Sri Zulkifli was a former USM president. Now he's the chairman of USIM. Lucky he's the president of chairman. Because he's the president chairman of USIM, I am USIM. So when I ask an appointment, it's difficult to say no. But then, sir, Tan Sri, I need to be in your room when you are conducting a meeting. Oh, no, nobody have done this before. Yeah, that's what observations are about. I want to know your style. They say that you are very open. I'm not sure how open are you. Until I observe, right? So, no, I'm open. Do you trust me? No, I don't trust you unless I see you. Oh, so I have to be open when you're around. After that, what do? So if he has an open president or chairman, during the meeting, we will observe that he will be quite open in that. Then only we can clarify, we can confirm, we can validate about our data that this particular president, yes, he is very open. Right? So he gave me a story when he was the Vice Chancellor of USM. The road sweeper came to the office. Road sweeper. Of museum, not outside of the museum, not the road in front of the bridge, right? But it was raining, drizzling, and then he heard that the new Vice Chancellor of museum is open and welcome everybody anytime if I am around. So this particular pakcik, it was raining at 5 o'clock, so he thought, well, let me go and see the Vice Chancellor's office because he said it is an open office. So he went in, and true enough, the Vice Chancellor was there. So if I'm the Vice Chancellor, if I just say, I'm going to make my office open, and you see somebody who is not supposed, no, not who is not supposed, but you didn't expect a road sweeper to come and be your guest, now what do? Right? So even Prophet Muhammad have got problem, right? When the blind person who comes to his congregation and he sort of did not respond to the blind person, and God sent wahyu, ayah said, hey, Muhammad, that is wrong for you to behave like that. Even Prophet Muhammad got it. So if Tansi Zul did it, I think that's not bad because therefore he's in line with Prophet Muhammad. Wallahu a'lam. But say, welcome, masuk, please come into my office. What's your problem? And he told the problem about what his work for the last 32 years in USM has been. Bamboo leaves and not from the coconut leaf. But his experience. But Tan Sri, every year I make the same complaint, nothing happened. Nothing happened. So he cited that in the case, and we discussed the case, and sure enough, the pendaftar, registrar was in the meeting. Ramanata, is that true what the complaint has been made, and you never respond to his complaint? Osri, that is our SOP. So SOP, standard operating procedure, which are man-made, right? And if the pendaftar or the registrar follow strictly, that's what, remember the fix just now? If you follow freely, so you will never change. So Tan Sri being open and wanting to be creative and wanting to be innovative and wanting to be flexible, I say, we have made a mistake many times. The expert in this area is a super. He's the one who's on the floor, he's on the ground, he should know what is the best. And yet we never respond to him, but we respond to the standard operating procedure. Because the tender for the broom comes from somebody, and therefore he will supply about 100 broom per month. Wallahu alam, I do not know in the case. But then he said, yeah, okay, so that's true. So this is why we need to be interviewed and observed. Right? So those are small things that happen in USM, but true enough, it will. I think your president's Prem's turn is coming because during the last meeting, Prem, sorry, the two case writers will be approaching you in a very short time. Have they approached you? Not yet. No, what you gave last time, the talk is being transcribed now. And from the transcription, we will validate whether the information is correct. And in case study, remember case study, we have to be descriptive and we have to add value to the case study. And a lot of things that's in the case is not in the transcription. Is that right or wrong? Not quite correct. But we better confirm with your president that this is added, but is this all right with you? All right, yes. Because you remember when with Tan Sri Azul, I said it was one fine evening at 5 o'clock. I never said that in my transcription, in my speech. No, sir, that is our story to make the case study interesting. Right? It happened on Friday lah tu. I thought it was Monday. No. Friday is important important element in this case study. So those are added value, but if it doesn't affect your problem, Tan Sri, so if that's all right, nothing against you to continue. So the case study that you're going to write would be different than what you interview and what you observe. But the reason is to share knowledge to the potential reader. That's the objective. All right, anyway, so we have done observation, participation, and then document. And with IT and computer technology, this is much wider. Nothing MUST already into that dimension, using technology as your medium of how you want to grow and how you want to develop in the future. Right? Okay, data collection. This is what we mentioned just now. Data collection is something that is quite different. Today I interview the client. Today I get the answer. Today I have to quickly jot it down and write what is the outcome of that discussion. I do not wait for tomorrow, because once I get the detail, I write the initial finding. And during the initial finding, therefore, I will be able to know whether I need to ask extra question or not. Right? During the initial finding, I will be able to know, I think there's some more question I need to ask. If you just state and record, thank you very much, Tan Sri. That was a 1 hour speech. Thank you very much. So I'll go back and transcribe. Can I come back later and discuss with you whatever I want to say? Can you discuss it today now? So people who are very busy upstairs, they might not be in a compromising mood. If you want to come more regular than what it's supposed to be, right? And the one that I'm going to go next week is not very well medically. So the time that he gave me is 2 hours, so I better make sure that 2 hours is utilized fully. We want together interview and obsession. All right, different methods are used for different disciplines. Again, is there a methodology? As far as quantitative analysis, you have the SPSS, structural equation model, partial least square. What else? Multiple regression, ANOVA, MANOVA. They are very specific analytical tools in quantitative. But when we talk about qualitative, what tools can we use, sir? The tools are up to you. What do you mean up to me? Well, there are so many tools, and all the tools, if they are not tested, are acceptable if you can justify at the end of the analysis that tool meets your objective. So the qualitative tool that we have today is always increasing. It's always increasing. So it's up to you, because phenomena that we are going to discuss in qualitative analysis in Europe, in US, in Japan, in China, and in Malaysia, they are different. Our culture are different. Our interviewees are different. Our observations are different, right? So we observe on a chair. In Kuala Kedah, I remember, we observe on a chair, sit on a fisherman's stool, because we are trying to do a qualitative study of the income of the fisherman who comes at the Kuala Kedah jetty every morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. Right? So what kind of tool do you? I do not know what tool I have to observe first. I know my objective is very clear. I want to know the potential income of the farmers, of the fish farmers in Kuala Kedah. That is my objective. So back to our therefore principle, even in qualitative analysis, qualitative and exploratory study, you must be clear about what we want to do. Right? So you don't go into a fisherman's jetty. What are you going to do? I'm going to collect data. What data you collect? I do not know. I have to see what data is available. Then you have trouble, you'll be there for 1 week, nothing is collected. Right? So you see, I want to know the income of who? Fisherman, or the wholesaler, or the retailer, or the one who handles the market, or the one who owns the boat. Is that different? Yes, different. If you want to know which particular income are you interested. So once you are clear, then your focus of your exploratory study would probably be better. Right? All right. So these are something that the data collection is different. Now this is the challenge. Some of the terms that you use here, that is being mentioned here, sorry, I myself is not familiar. If you are familiar with them, thank you very much. That means you are much ahead. Because these are new terms that came out only last 2 years. Right? The only one I know is probably a genealogy. What is genealogy? The keyword there is genes. Oh, therefore gene, Billie Jean King, Billie Jean King only the senior citizen know, but the younger generation might not know who Billie Jean King is. Or Jane Samsudin, or Dean, yeah. All right, anyway, so genealogy is a methodology of trying to trace your ancestor relationship. So that's genealogy. Right? If you look at the dictionary, this is quite new, the term. Although genes we know is quite old, but the rest, deconstruction, okay, deconstruction is not that new, but the terminology they call it constructive destruction. Constructive, but you destroy. Yes. And how can you call it constructive destruction? So when the first terminology came out, everybody was asking, hey, what is this Chicago professor trying to do? Right? So it's constructive destruction. So later when they explain that the world today is very mobile and very versatile, for you to go forward, you must destruct the present structure first, a new one, for you to be able to handle the coming needs. Right? Well, some people now call it transformation, fine. So whatever, all the same word. By that time it was constructive destruction. That catch the world, and then that would start. But here you got deconstruction. You construct and then you mean what? You construct again? Well, I suppose so. This one, okay. So the other one, archaeology, of course you use archaeology. These are remnant that we, from the archaeological evidence, we will be able to find something, explore something new about what has happened. I think a lot of us know today they have discovered many ships that are sunk. So based on archaeology, where is the nose, Nabino or nose ark? It's all on the hill in what? In Iraq or Iran? Iraq, So in Iraq. And then they want to know about the Red Sea, the parting of the Red Sea. Those are all history. But now they can go back and say, hey, there is actually a parting of the Red Sea. And this is the, how do you know? Archaeological evidence. Right? So anyway, but the other two, rhizome analysis and schizone analysis. Okay? I see people there are already in your Google. Anybody wants to help me? What is rhizome analysis? Analysis of the rhizome. What is the rhizome? Anybody? Yeah, they all already got it in the Google, but they do not want to share with us. Have you got the Google rhizome analysis? Ada? What's the computer in front of you for? YouTube or Facebook? I'm not going to check, don't worry. Okay. So, can you check? Are you on Google? Are you on online internet? Are you? Yes or no? Can you check what is rhizome analysis? You? Sorry? Okay, don't worry, the two of you have got the same duty. One do rhizome analysis, one do schizone analysis. And the third one, check the two, whether they are right or wrong. Is that all right? Please. I got my own understanding of what rhizome analysis is all about, because as mentioned, the world today is so dynamic, changing all the time. Any instrument is not fixed. Any instrument is only suitable for that time when you were doing it, right? So now we have got, so if somebody come out with a new tool, then we are going to that area of rhizome analysis. So miss, you got your rhizome analysis? What does it say? Anything? I know Bajoya is already on that. That is rhizome analysis. Where is it? Sizo analysis? No. I tell my friend lah, Prof Bajoy. Ada, buka handphone. Duduk komputer. My understanding of horizon analysis is everything is changing. Everything changing, right? Any analysis that you do is a new analysis. New first time analysis. That was my understanding, or that is my understanding of what horizon analysis is all about. So the fact that the terminology is difficult to understand, so therefore the method is also difficult to understand. Shizo, I don't know. Shizo comes from what keyword? Schizophrenic, shizo. Well, anyway. So what I'm trying to say here, therefore, the tools for qualitative analysis is always changing, developing, and our method, or the one that we have got 14 methods or 14 tools of qualitative analysis, is probably not 14. We'll discuss that in a few moments. What are those 14? All right, writing is another problem. The two, remember I said the two students, both are from UPM, that failed in their PhD thesis because their writing was not acceptable by the examiner. I got no say, but I am the supervisor. So we have to go, Zainal, you are not the writer, you have to know the writing is not like what qualitative research should be. Okay? So unfortunately, that was the life that I experience, but percentage-wise, acceptable, right? more than enough. But the rest, the other 18 are all quantitative, and the all quantitative went through. So you want to ask me which is easier? I'm not saying quantitative is easier, but quantitative all went through because it's easy to look at, easy to refer. If your structured question model is not correct, now where did you go wrong? Where is your goodness of its score? Out of the 5 goodness of its score in the structured question model, 5 are okay. So what's wrong with it? So you can quickly check on that in the quantitative analysis, right? If you do multiple regression in quantitative, you do hierarchical, right? Forward or backward. So some very, very specific methodology. So it's not a problem. Textbooks are a lot. But you go qualitative, my God. Right? So every new methodology is acceptable in a way if you can justify that that is the only tool that you think is suitable for your analysis. All right, so this is where no standard format to follow. No chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 introduction, research objective, research question, significant contribution, literature review, quantitative, qualitative. You have got problem. You take 3 samples of previous qualitative thesis, all are different. So which one do you follow, sir? I do not know which one you want to follow. If you ask me, your supervisor, do what you think is best. If you fail, don't blame me, because you decided. But, right, the last one, you have to describe the methodology. Very, very clear. The next slide will tell you, you cannot run away from. So you have to have a research problem. Whether it's poly or quanti, you have to have a research problem. Now that must be explained thoroughly in your qualitative. Right? So we might have discussion, how investigation was conducted. So that's your survey, that's your interview, that's your visiting, that's your observation. Right? And then the last one is a tough part. Findings is relevant to theory and practice. So you cannot run away from theory, fine. In practice, you find, so usually practice is different than what is in theory. That's why I want to do qualitative. If you want to do quantitative, you just want to confirm the theory. Right? But if you want to do qualitative, then the theory and practice must be possible, coincide. And the best part is, it does not coincide, and that will be your contribution to your qualitative analysis. All right? So my 40 minutes is up. More than 40 minutes, sorry. I took more than 40 minutes because your president took 10 minutes. he said me, oh, no. No, okay, no problem. No problem. Okay. Then we got a few more slides here. Now come the serious part. Yeah, serious part because there are 22 methods or tools that is available for you to choose. Or create a new one that will be better because that will be your contribution to knowledge. So these are all the methods. Some of them you are very familiar. And all of these are created by person who do qualitative analysis and say there's no methodology, no tool at the time. They created their own. So majority, if you look at the history of these tools, the first writer who wrote this at that point in time, such tools do not exist. They created the first one and they become a literature. Right? You can go through the years of all these 14 different tools. Anything that you are not familiar? All are not familiar, or all are familiar. Some are familiar, some are not familiar. Don't worry. So out of these 14, we take the first two. The term itself tells us what is your methodology. Content means I want to analyze the content of what Najib said 2 days ago in the Star. Or if you go to YouTube, what did Mahathir also say in the last 2 days in his Malaysia gini? Wallah. Right? Unfortunately, I am one of those who have been bukan branded lah, identified and don't get anything from Zainal. Dia ni very elusive player. Sometimes he's yes, sometimes he's no. For all you want to know, I did strategic planning for Terengganu during the during the UMNO punya era. Finish that, I did rancangan strategy for Kelantan underpass. So when I came back, people say, hey, which side are you in? What do you mean which side? One side I'm Kelantan, I said in Terengganu, now I'm in Nilai. Quote unquote, oh Zainal, so you are not here, neither there. So if neither here, neither there, Kota say, Kota bukan Kota. Kota say, neither here, Kota say what? What do you want to say? Stuck in the middle. Okay. Stuck in the middle, and when you are stuck in the middle, sorry, you're stuck in the middle. So you don't go anywhere, and unfortunately, there is a qualitative research being done today on stuck in the middle phenomena. Well, unfortunately, rightly or wrongly, he is my student. Unfortunately, or rightly. Why do you study stuck in the middle? It is a phenomenon, sir. And I am in the steel industry. That's what the student. I'm in the industry, and sometimes we do not know whether we are cost leadership, or we are differentiated. No, are you sure you are either? No, sometimes I also think I'm stuck in the middle. Okay, why don't you do a research on stuck in the middle? Can I said, why not again? Okay, so he's a Chinese. So, well, nice, young guy who is very dynamic. So stuck in the middle, he thought is an easy phenomenon. Well, I mean, the theory is there. But to understand what is stuck in the middle, then he says, sir, nobody knows what is stuck in the middle. Yeah, that's why it's a phenomenon. So nobody knows, right? And you want to study, right? Yes, so that's your contribution. Oh, can I change the topic after 3 years? After 3 years, sorry, no. I spent so much time on you for 3 years, now you have to change the topic. Right? Anyway, so he is progressing quite well. So you see in the coming future, a paper on strategic management, stuck in the middle phenomena. Oh, I hope it's my name there, if he appreciate me. If my name is not there, that means he did not appreciate me. Yes, sir. right?
You know, and end of the day, it comes up with the kind of thing. So how different is that? Equal to PhD?
Okay. Whether you want to know whether it has reached a PhD level or not. Is it right? Right. No, investigative is just a methodology, right? It's just a tool that you want to use to investigate, to find out more detail about what is happening. If corruption is your issue, right? And you have taken 3 big corruption activity in the country, and you get the permission from the Jabatan Keselamatan Dalam Negeri to do that kind of research, fine. So you're going to investigate, right? But you have to get your pass your pass must be reviewed every month, I think. You know why? You're going to enter Kajang prison every now and then. I got that part. And when I reached there, ini kita punya CID dia call it. Because the prison people do not know how to investigate. The lawyer are trained to be investigator, right? But they are not trained to be researcher. So somehow they got the researcher to come into. So when we investigate, what is it that you want to find? Is that a theory that you want to prove? Or is there no theory that you want to? I just want to explore and find out what is the actual reason of the corruption. That is qualitative. That is exploratory. The moment you write a paper on that and say, these are because of the following 7 reasons, it becomes potential quantitative follow-up research. Because you already given the basic, you already given the basic data. These are the 7 variables that I have already studied, and I have confirmed from the 3 different cases, these 7 are common to all the 3 of them. You publish, accepted, that becomes the basic data for other researchers to follow. Right? So then it cannot be exploratory anymore because you have already done the exploratory. Then somebody will take up as the quantitative to prove whether your 7 is right or wrong. Yes, sir.
Sit at a bar, okay? Couple of drinks. I sit at a bar, having a couple of drinks, and I intend to play pool. Okay, I play pool, and then actually there are 8 balls there, including 1 black ball and 15 balls altogether. Actually, there, I do an experiment. Actually, there, probability distribution in a game. Okay, over a span of maybe 2 hours. How would you fit that actually? Because it's experimental as well as actually quantitative. So how would that actually fit in with the research methodology for a span of maybe, let's say, 6 hours? Yeah, I'm talking about this actually because if you want to publish a paper based on mathematical modeling of maybe a pool game actually, how would that fit in actually? Would that be experimental or would it be quantitative?
Okay, it is. When you mentioned a bar just now, I thought you are in the law business.
No.
Okay. Caution. Oh, that bar. Okay, then okay. Yeah. So there's a game involved, right? There's a game involved, and from the game, you are going to find out what are the outcome of that game. And you probably have 3-4 different rounds of game from the different groups of people, or from the same people they repeat, right? Now that is research. If you want to do research on it, what is your reason why you want to find out? Does that more the one that who wins the game have got certain characteristics, or who wins the game have got certain strategy to follow? If that is you have that in your mind, then you focus on that strategy, you focus on that systems that they follow, and then you find out the result, right? So in that sense, therefore, it is not going to be qualitative because you're very specific on the outcome. I think so, anyway, right? And I think a lot of you have heard about what is action research. Action research is part of research, of course, and action research is the thing that you have mentioned just now. It is done in 6 hours, finished, and that's my action research, right? So tomorrow, another weekend, Saturday, we do another round of the same research to test whether the research that you've done the last Saturday is repeatable in this next Saturday, and if they are consistent, you've got something that you can write on. You've got something that you can write on. Right? Sorry? Yeah, okay. And especially you play together with him and you won, right? Of course, that's another thing. Okay, anyway. So this is the first 2. Content is the content of your, so this is what kind of data do we have here? Speech is a database. Content of the Prime Minister's speech, therefore we want to analyze the content, whether they are all public oriented or whether they are all election oriented. Wallahu alam, but if that's what you want to do, then follow also what Mahathir said, for you to compare the two leaders of the two opposition party, right? So the kind of speech or the kind of document that they want to release to the public, so what are the content? So you can do content analysis. Of course, today content analysis have got the software in Vivo, I think. Right now. So anyway, so the computer people are expert. They are better than the qualitative people. They create program for the qualitative people to use. And they make money. Right? So the qualitative people will spend money to buy the apa tu? Minum. All right. Anyway, back to content analysis, and the other one is event analysis. So event analysis is another methodology and tool, and you are going to describe the event. So your event will be what? As far as event is concerned, there must be a finishing and there must be a beginning. You have the beginning and that is the end. So once you have that today, so all the analysis that we're going to do must be in between that two dates. Simple example from the university is the convocation ceremony event. Right? So when did it start? The formation of the first convocation committee. When was that? So this was the date. So from that date onwards until you finish, got your degree, got your award, convocation process, and at the end of the convocation is the final convocation dinner. So that is your end. What do you want to analyze? I want to analyze the effectiveness of our convocation process. Right? You got one data set, you want to analyze what? Financially, spiritually, student perception, staff perception, time spent, that's up to you. So you have to be very, very sure what the objectives are. Right? So as I said, in terms of qualitative analysis concerned, you decide what is it that you want to study. You want to compare must and inti convocation event. That's second level of analysis. So you must have another person there who also follows the beginning and the end of the convocation process in another IPTS. No, I want to compare private and government, public. Oh, now you've got three different people involved. Right? If they allow you, fine. So then you got, now what is the issue here? Is that qualitative or is that quantitative? If it is the first time, I would probably propose that it be a qualitative, because we don't know, nobody has studied that using the event analysis method. Okay, for whatever reason, right? So these are all available in your computer, and it is available if you want to download, or the secretary will send it to whoever wants it, I suppose. So all the 14 different tools are briefly described in this PowerPoint. Right? So this is really line by line, para by para, whole speech by speech to finally categorize. So you go and analyze line by line, word by word, para by para, beginning and ending. I'm talking about just now the speech of the two possible contender for the Prime Minister. Right? So then that's content analysis. Event analysis, again, that's where the convocation comes in. And the next two will be logical analysis and metaphoric analysis. So people have used these two as a method of analyzing qualitative data. So I think logical analysis, logically all of you understand. Because all of us are supposed to be rational, right? All of us are rational. So rationalization is proof to you that it is logical. It has a rationale behind it. And true enough, logical analysis is, once you prove your analysis is done and is logical, logical means people see the rationale behind it, right? And they are not saying it's wrong or right, but if they say it's rational enough, yes, I think your tool is acceptable. And this is where in our qualitative analysis problem, we have to rationalize and justify the tools that we use for analysis must be logically derived. The other one is metaphoric. Metaphoric ni metaphor. A lot of speech, a lot of documents have got metaphors inside that speech. Right? For example, if I may use, the Prophet Muhammad's speeches and all his hadith and all his story and all history behind him, a lot of metaphors are used in his recording. We do not understand them. Probably the Arabic will understand them, but Hussein also not Arab. Hussein is okay. Right? But if you are Arabic, then you go, oh, this is a metaphor. People don't talk about life in this way, but the Arabs talk life in that way, and they've got a lot of meaning. So that is metaphoric analysis. So among all the content of the speech, you have to underline where are the metaphors, and therefore describe and explain the metaphors, and look at the linkages between that speech and what about that part. That speech was spoken during his last sermon before he died, for example, right? So, okay, what are the metaphors that he talked about during his last sermon? So that have been analyzed, and those are more often used when you talk about the document analysis, right? So today, I had a look at the white Pulau Putih in Singapore, where Malaysia lost the island to Singapore for whatever reason. So they look at the document that the British government signed to be given to the Sultan of Johor, for example. And a lot of the content in that one have been metaphorically analyzed for the lawyer to challenge in court, right? And for sure, those words that were long ago, and the words that they used that time is not used today anymore, right? And today we heard Queen Elizabeth have got blood relationship with Prophet Muhammad. YouTube. Okay. Well, we'll take it as it is and let the people who are involved in it do the investigation, not for us. All right, anyway, back to here. So diagram is we use chart, we use diagram, we use bar chart, we use histogram. Those are all analysis to help us understand the data that we have, right? So therefore, although they are qualitative data, right, those data can be transformed into some presentation, whether we do it roughly, whether we do it chart, diagram, as a picture, etc. Right? The next one is narrative and thematic. Narrative is spoken language. So you tape, an interview is narrative. So you tape, that's why you have to tape, at the same time record. So that's narrative, and you want to analyze what he has said. That's why we have to transcribe the narration first into something that is tangible. So then you start analyzing the narration of that particular interviewee. But thematic is also straightforward. From the speech that you gather, from the speech that you collected, from the speech that you record, let's go for what are the themes that we are going to look at. What are the themes that the speaker, that the person that we interviewed wants to discuss? Right? So that looks quite straightforward. Okay. Don't worry, we've got only 14. Right, that's what I mentioned just now. You can take this out after from your PowerPoint copy. We email to you, I guess. Under your technology, probably it's available in your cloud. I know, cloud. Right, you are using cloud, right? Put in the cloud or put in the sky. Now got cloud, got heavy cloud, got sky, got big data, etc. So you have all the technology for you to share this kind of thing. All right. This is more quantitative in nature, but still qualitative, right? So when you talk about analysis. Right? Analysis, therefore become analytic. Induction is the conclusion you derive from the analysis. Right? So the conclusion that you derive from analysis must be done systematically, and we call that, therefore, this is an analytic induction. The one that we induce, therefore, is not from the thin air, induction is from the analysis. What kind of analysis that you do? That's where the qualitative people will have the different methodology that we mentioned just now, and all the various methodology, if they can be validated, then you are doing it analytically. Right. So the other one is quasi. Quasi means not full statistics. So this is really straightforward, because it is statistics, but not 100% statistics. So your opinion is being given number. Right? Your words that you use in your speech are being given number counts of the words that are being used. So that is numbers. The moment you get numbers, you can total the numbers. The moment you get the total number, then you've got figures and you've got statistics that you can play around with. And therefore, if it is from a qualitative source, we call that quasi-statistics method. Count and number, initial quantity data is analyzed with the count and becomes secondary data, etc., etc., etc. I think for those who are familiar, anything you want me to further deliberate, please. A good one would be examples for each of them. Then it might be clearer, right? So you can remember or can identify examples specifically for qualitative research, for analytic induction, or for quasi-study. Then, for example, those who do survey, those who do opinion survey, or those who do perception survey, and you give a score of 5, Likert scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the beginning of your statistic that you are going to use. Right? You're going to average, you're going to sum, you're going to divide, etc., and that becomes a statistics for your research questionnaire. Right? So that becomes quasi-statistics. If your sample size is 200, then it becomes statistic, not quasi anymore. It becomes pure statistic. But if it's qualitative, then you have to make sure that it belongs to what group of statistics that you're going to handle. All right. Analysis, the same thing. Okay, time is getting up. Okay. Straight away to the understanding what is domain approach. Domain. The other one, hermeneutic, right? Now, hermeneutic is more dealing with the hadith and Quran, or the scripture, the Moses and Jesus, all the documents in the Bible, etc. So those we call them, those are the hermeneutic document. And they probably use the language of Hebrew, Sanskrit, and today all of us only understand English or Malay, or don't understand them at all, so we have got a problem, right? So we do, therefore, we talk about the analysis, we have to study the sacred text and convert them into something that is easily understood for us to appreciate. That is hermeneutic analysis. All right, so the one before that is domain. I think we just have to classify all the text into various domains. For example, last 2 days, a speech by Najib, we can divide his speech into health component, education component, international component, one more, local community component. So those 4 domains are in his speech. And I assume the next speech that he's going to say or going to deliver probably will not be the same domain. If they are the same domain, then we say, oh, he's emphasizing a lot on these 2 domains. Fine. So that is his preference. His preference. Whether it is for political reason or for public reason, We are not going to argue on that, but that is what he has in his speech. Right? Of course, I can also analyze what Mahathir said and what Muhyiddin said. If I'm a politician, but then I am not. My name is already in some list down there which does not belong to any. So, okay. Sama-sama aja, kita sama kot. Wallahualam. Again, the words here, typology means types, taxonomy means as in biology, as in anatomy, right, as in science. So you have got taxonomy. Those are very, you can do this in the qualitative analysis as well. You want to divide them into some form of classification. Typology, types, taxonomy, again. Taxonomy is much more complicated than typology, because taxonomy have got a main, sub-main, another sub-sub-main to their category. All these belongs to the insects. But under insect, they have got another group or subgroup between insects, right? All insects are, what, 3 bodies? I don't know, I cannot remember my agriculture anymore. So we have got the 3 components of the body, and then how many legs do they have? Insects. 6, yeah? So you got 6 legs, okay. Because you got 8 legs, then that belongs to another group of, not insect lah, arachnid. But anyway, so when you go for taxonomy, right, you have got the different classes of into smaller category. Now in qualitative analysis, you can do that also. Right? We just now hospital focus on education. So that's major one taxonomy education. The side education will be maybe primary, secondary, lifelong, before primary, what? Preschool, okay, preschool. And then for people like me after 70s, Zainal, you're not in the list, sorry, out of the taxonomy game. Okay, you will go out. Okay, so those are various things that you do. Okay, the last 2 will be grounded theory. Now this is, a lot of those who are in the qualitative say wants to do these 2. Why? Because grounded theory is very famous. Phenomenology also simple understand, right? Because you just look at a phenomena and then do research on that phenomenon. Hey, what's so difficult about it? Yeah, what's so difficult about it? So try and do it. And then you'll find that the phenomena is very complicated. Right? So usually a phenomenon is something that is new, they have never been analyzed or researched into, and you want to open the phenomena for people to understand what that phenomenon is all about. Right? So the tsunami in Aceh or in the Indonesian water, right? Is that a phenomenon or not? Is that a phenomenon? Right? It can be, it is a phenomenon, right? But it is a phenomenon if it is not understood. So 2-3 days after that, they describe all the faults and all the going up and going down of all the various under the seabed reason why there was a tsunami. So as far as that is concerned, the phenomenon is understood. What is not understood? Right? And the one that is going in research in Aceh now is, what was the response of the people who are affected by the tsunami? We have never done any, have you done research on that? No, why not? It has never happened to Aceh. So now we're going to find out, and it has also never happened in Japan. They do the same research in Japan now. So they're comparing the one in Aceh, the one in Japan, of the 2 tsunami, the phenomenon of the after effect of the tsunami. It is a phenomenon because we do not know what is the effect. Right? And then they start doing research on that. Because the one in Japan is progressing very fast. They have come up with a lot of things that they have come up. So that's a new phenomenon. What is grounded theory? Grounded theory, some people say it's very difficult, but to me, you make the theory so that it is on the ground. Meaning, whatever you do, you always start off in your qualitative and say, on the air. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Oh, fantastic. So how is it going down? Oh, I know, that's what I'm going to find out. At the end of the day, your aeroplane will run out of fuel, so you have to be grounded. Now you better know when to be grounded, and the moment you are grounded, I have now grounded, I have got the grounded theory now. So when you are on the ground, that means you are safer, right? So if you are safer, that means you must have a very solid theory to support your findings of your research. And how do you know whether your theory is grounded? This is where the grounded theory applies, that your theory is now grounded because we cannot improve any more from your theory. Right? So I continue looking at the 5 variables of the theory. I asked 10 respondents, they give me the 5 variables. Fine. So I asked the 6 person, they gave me 6 variables. I asked 7 people, 7 person, they give me 6 variables. So the 5 variables have not been grounded yet. I still have got the 6. When I go for the 8 people, they also give me 6. 9 people, 6. Now I'm reaching the maximum. I'm reaching the saturation. So the 10th person I will interview, and if they give me 6, I am going to ground the theory. Right? So you continue doing your research in using grounded theory, as long as you do not meet a fix, do not meet a final component, you continue doing the research until you are grounded. Right? So when we ground our daughter or son, that's different. You are grounded. Alright, so those days are gone. I don't know today whether the young generation you get that kind of treatment from your parents, but I do. Those days, no. Last time different. Last time we don't have all this internet. You can still sit in the room and enjoy the. Oh, that day you can ground me as long as you give me a good handphone. Oh, and then I say, oh yes, okay, thank you. So I give you a handphone, and he will be in the room happily ever after. Yeah. So this is what the final. Now my phenomenology is a phenomenon. So this is what we want to say. Right? Now, as I mentioned in my first few sentences just now, there are altogether record about 20 other tools that have been documented, right? And it includes the one that we talk about, gene analysis, archaeology, schizo analysis, rhizo, the new technology which I have never experienced. I do not dare I just list down for your information, but right anymore. So we also this is quite popular, quite popular. Discourse analysis. Right? Why discourse analysis is considered qualitative? Discourse means discussion. Okay, that's one. Discussion of what? Discussion of the topic that you want to discuss among your group. Okay, what topic is that about? So to discuss based on what? Based on speech, based on document available, based on research on that particular topic. So in the discourse analysis, we bring all together the related document, any source of it, and we sit down together and do, okay, let's do a discourse analysis of this particular issue. Right? So that is quite common, and usually we do have this regularly, so they always call a discourse meeting, etc., just to discuss some issue. But why case study is a last? Because this one I can take 3 hours, I can take 4 hours, up to you. Because as a president of the Case Writers Association, this is our hobby. Right? Why write cases? No, okay, write cases different, right? Write cases for teaching purposes. That's different. Write cases as a consultant report, that's why we make money. Right? So Petronas asked us to go, Zainal, look at this issue, okay? So how many man-months? That's what 3 man-months. So how long do you take? 3 man-months, 3 months, probably 6 months. Right? How do you charge us? Well, not much, about 20,000 a month. So, wow, 20,000 a month. That's a lot, Zainal. So buka record. When you give that consultant company, I was also involved. Yeah. Ini cash cow punya company ni. Boston Consulting Group. You check your file. What did you give to Boston Consulting Group for the 3-month research that they do? We asked you for 30,000 a month, you complain. We didn't know that this year, Fortuna make money. If we know, we would have asked for more. The more money that they get today is for political reason or reality, I also do not know. I don't want to comment. But anyway, Boston Consulting Group got 1.2 million. And when they look at the West, oh, they pay you. And the worst part, the Boston Consulting Group employ me. Zainal, please help. What? Petron? No. How come? I bid for the same project, you know. You go, oh, okay. Well, whatever it is, so it has been done. So anyway, so that's life. So case study, that is a consulting case study. So what is it? You have got a problem, I do research, I do analysis, I solve the problem for you, I submit my paper, so I got my report. And that is a case of that particular company. Our definition of case is, there must be a bounded entity. Bounded entity means I can draw a boundary. What project you ask me to do on Petronas. So Petronas is a bounded entity. I want to do a healthcare project, so hospital therefore is a bounded entity. So if I do a case, if I do a research on a bounded entity, then it is case study. Whether it is qualitative or quantitative, it is applicable to both. Why quantitative? I only do on 2 hospitals. You do only on 2 hospitals. Why you call that quantitative? Only 2, what your sample? Yes, only 2. Who said my sample is 2? I take every floor of your hospital, 10 patients. And you got 4 wings. So every floor will be 40. How many floors you have? 7 floors. 7 times 40? 280 samples. That hospital A, the other hospital, the one in Penang, oh, they are smaller, but still, how many samples do you get? So if you talk about sample size, it becomes quantitative. Right? It is a case study, but using a quantitative approach. But if you want to do a case study just for qualitative approach, then it's different. Right? So the one that we did, for example, on the leaders of the various IPT and WTA, so that's only individual president, individual chairman, individual vice chancellor. So we interview, we just do only on that. So it is still a consultancy report. If the company purposely asks us to do what is the problem in my university as far as leadership is concerned, then we will investigate. But if it's meant for training purposes, all right, not because me, no, right. If it is meant for training purposes, I have to convert that case study into what is the learning point. Oh, in the leadership of the university, he talks about sustainability, he talks about leadership, he talks about creativity. Okay? I want to convert that case study into a teaching case study instead of a reporting case study or a consulting. Then I have to look at what is the learning theory, what is the leadership theory, what is the sustainable theory. Oh, this theory has got 7 components, this one got 5 components, this one got 6 components. So I've got these components. I want the students who read this case to be able to understand these 3 different theories. So when I interview the president, I have to ask all that component of the 6. Actually, you only got 5 out of the 6. I don't care. I do not have to have all the 6. But therefore, in my case study, I'm going to write his 5 story of how he handled the 5, missing the 6. On purpose, either he is a purpose, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to train the MBA students. If you want to know about leadership of this case study, okay, talk about the sustainability, whether the university can be sustainable or not. Please refer to the relevant references. So the students, when doing on organizational behavior, we talk about sustainability theory, and they've got, sir, in the theory, you talk about 6 components. How come the president only give me 5? That is where for you to comment. Is it good enough, or is the 6th one irrelevant? Why do you think the 6th one is relevant? Or maybe in this particular situation, the 6th one is not relevant at all. I don't know. That's why the students' discussion of the case study, for you write here for teaching purposes, then that is the training part, the knowledge part that we want the user of the case to acquire knowledge. So it's a totally different research, right? Case study as a research tool is one. Case study as a consultant report is a different one. Case study for teaching purposes is another style. Right? So I've got two professors who is today not talking with me because he's a good journal writer. He submitted for a case writing journal for teaching purposes and both of them reject. Zainal, how can? Oh, this is very embarrassing. You reject my two papers for the case study teaching purposes. I said, Prof, we need to discuss and tell you what is it that we look for in the case for teaching purpose journal. Right? There are 5 in Asia now: Singapore, Hong Kong, UPM, UUM, ada UIA. So I forgot. And one more is in Bangkok, if I'm not mistaken. India, there's also a journal for case study for teaching purpose. Okay, so back to our issue. Case study is both. Quali okay, quanti is okay. Right? So the moment you have got a bounded entity, then it is a case study. But the sample inside that particular entity, if it is the numbers are large, then it becomes possible to do quantitative analysis. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, sorry took you more than the amount that I said I would have taken. So question that you might want to ask, yes?
Prof. Zainal, it seems like there are many tools, and
There are many tools.
There are many tools, yeah. And I kind of suspect that in a typical research, we will use a variety of tools, and then there may be overlap between them. Is that true?
Possible.
Yeah.
Possible.
So, from your experience, what are the tools that are used together?
Okay, I mean direct question, in case study. Oh, that's my paper. So the first case study I did and my sample is live, I'm going to do structural equation model. Finish. Right? I've got certain principle, I want certain relationship, I want to find out. So that's for qualitative. The order for qualitative, right? What are the attitudes of the Muslim doctors with regard to Sharia compliance activity in your hospital? Wow, itu apa tu? Sounds very complicated, but it is nothing. Even a lot of people scared kan? Oh, salah. I was never exposed to Sharia. What can we do? Right? Then we slowly discovered, okay. Right? So it sounds complicated. So it is case study on that hospital in Kampung Baru. Right? But what is the issue I want to find? I want you to find the people, not only you, the owner, not only the nurses who are the medical provider. We also want to know the patients who are the receiver. We also want to know the pharmacists who provide the medicine. So I've got 5 people to understand how they treat this Sharia compliant medical treatment. How many samples do I get? I cannot get all. It is not useful to get all because no study has been done on these 5 different groups as far as Sharia compliant medical treatment. So I'm going to do 2 per each. So I got 5 groups, 2 each, 10 samples. So I'm going to interview the 10 of them. Patient alone, I took more than 2 because those are the patient. I need about 2 categories of patient. 4 categories of patient, foreign and local patients. Right, because this is the interest of the tourism ministry. So they want to know how our health, medical, Sharia compliant tourism have got a market niche or not. So we will do a qualitative analysis. So it's a case study on 2 hospitals and also qualitative because only 10 sample. And what are the things that I want to do? Just topic wise, I know all the questions, but the detail of the questionnaire are not structured. And because the 5 different people will answer differently. Even the foreign patient, the one from Indonesia and the one from China, they will have different perception of what kind of treatment, right? And even the patient, the one in China is a Muslim, the one in Indonesia is a Muslim, we also need to know patients who are non-Muslim. So that is the category of different cells. And although give me 2 of each, will give enough data for me to tell the ministry your market niche is very, very big, for example. So fine, so but it's not been completed yet. But therefore, case study can use any tools that we have just now. Right? So case study of Mahathir, is that a case study? Case study of Mahathir's speech, is that a case study? Is there a bounded entity? Is there a bounded entity? Yes, Mahathir is a bounded entity. I do not want him to discuss with his daughter, I don't want him to discuss with the others in the Pakatan Harapan. Right? I only want his speech. Okay, so that is a bounded entity, therefore it's a case study. How do I analyze his study? I do content analysis. Or I do thematic analysis. The content is for that speech, I look at the content. Thematic, I want to know his speech today, yesterday, day after tomorrow, are they on the same themes or not? That is thematic analysis on his personal, whatever he wants to talk about. So similarly, I can do that with Najib, similarly I can do that with any other people I want to do. So the bounded entity is a personnel. The bounded entity just now was the hospital. So my own preference is therefore, I like to have a boundary of my research. Therefore, if it is a bounded entity, then to me, that is a case study. So I am very comfortable with case study. Therefore, qualitative analysis, case study approach to me would be very, to me, right? To me, I'm not saying you must, but that gives me the extra security that I need. If anybody asks me two difficult questions, hey, I'm only in that bounded entity. Don't ask me outside. Okay, so that saves me a lot of problems. All the 14 model, phenomenology, for example, is general. Phenomenology, oh, is that a phenomenon? Yes, everything has a phenomenon. So Najib, sorry, Mahathir's speech, is that a phenomenon or not? What phenomena are we going to look at? His revival phenomena, or what we call it. So, right? So he said, my family all have got an average age of 95. So what are you not now old and funny? I also close to Najib in that. That's why I got both party and I'm not in that. Stuck in the middle, brother. I am stuck in the middle. Kelantan pergi, Terengganu pergi kan. Najib pergi pun, Mahathir pergi. So, I remember Najib what he said, no, when he just came back from overseas, he did a course on management in MIM. Of course, at that time I did not know him. I know only him as Najib, right? So I think he sat behind and he's very observant. And the last question that he asked me, Zainal, if you think strategic management is so important as you said in management, where is it in the Al-Quran? Oh, at that time I was all conventional trained. Quran I only read in Ramadan. And I only read, I do not understand. So when he asked me, where is that? I thought, who is this person who asked me that kind of question? And until today, if I see him, MIM, he still remember. But he never gave me any datuk anyway. So, that's a different issue. But what I'm trying to say is, as far as research is concerned, right, so any method of tool that you think is applicable can help solve your problem, by all means use it. So we can, for example, theme, domain, and anatomy are all classification process. Right? You can, if you're good, I would say, in trying to understand this data, I'm going to do a classification exercise. There are 4 different models that are available: thematic, domain, anatomical analysis, taxonomical analysis, right? So at least people who read, he knows all about the different type of analysis of the content. So good. But I'm going to choose only one. Fine. So you are already on the process of using that one particular tool. Right, thank you. Any others, please? Ladies and gentlemen, this is those who are into it already. Tak ada? Any medical doctor here? No? I want to ask for, how do you cure knee? This is part of my problem. Sadi, please. I think it's fair for us to. Apa ni? Ini orang pakar-pakar finance.
Prof, again,
How about consultation? Like you mentioned just now, you did consultation on all the presidents and all that. Let's say at the end of it, you have a finding that you come and report what are the features or things like that, is it? And then you said that here you don't find the variables first, you find it later on at the end of the whole.
At the end of the,
So when you present this, is that equivalent to a PhD research? Can that become one with somebody who's doing that? What is different? There should be some subtle difference.
okay, I have interviewed 4 presidents of the vice chancellor or chairman or president of vice chancellor or university, right? So all the 4 data are now with me, so I'm going to look into it. But all the 4 have got different content, because when I interview one, he asked me to look only at the sustainability component. When I go for another lecturer, another vice chancellor, he asked me, they want to look into the leadership component. So sustainability, leadership. And then another one, I talk about creativity. So the 3 different vice chancellor will be emphasizing on 3 different issues. Okay, that's fine. Now, if I want to convert that into a research first, then I better know what are the research, the theory involved in all those 3 topics. Creativity, leadership, and sustainability, right? And I look at the theory, there's a lot of theory in here that talks about those things. Because leadership alone have got one big textbook on leadership. Do OB, probably you will realize that. Then that is therefore not easy. So you know all the theory about leadership, then you can say, now what is wrong with the present leadership theory? All right? Because in PhD thesis, we want to have an element of contribution towards knowledge. So there must be that contribution. If there's no contribution towards knowledge, we will be very, very hard on you. Then why are you going to do research for if you don't need the contribution? Right? So if there is a contribution, so what is wrong with the present 8 theory? For example, there are 8 theory of leadership, and there are something missing in the theory of leadership. I'm going to investigate that missing gap. Now, the data I'm going to get only from one lecturer or from one vice chancellor. Fine, to me that is acceptable. But I know what gap to go for. And then for the second vice chancellor and the third supervisor, they've got different areas, right? I've got 3 different areas in my PhD. And that's where my analysis, that's where my study is. I believe you can qualify that as a PhD thesis. Right? So, objective must be very clear, and that is a problem with leadership today. There is a problem with creativity today. There's a problem with sustainability today. Then we look at the Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi, Ministry of Education, issues that they made, that they have in the annual report. Those are the things we highlight. Yes, our leadership, our vice chancellors have not been able to share whatever that they have, and why is it they did not want to share? So that becomes part of our investigation. So when I told Tan Sri Zul, you have got a very good understanding of what sustainability of a university is. How come this is not shared amongst all the other universities? So what is the answer? So Zainal, you know how, using quote unquote his word, you know how cocky our vice chancellors are? They all think they are the best, right? And worst part, I am in USM at Peck University. They always think, boleh lah, he talks about it because he left Peck University kan. But it's unfortunate that that happened to me. But the moment I want to share, there is no platform for me to share. So that's why the Kementerian now asked the ACAP, the Academy for Leadership under the ministry, to handle. We want 20 cases on leadership issue on past vice chancellor. Because at the moment they train all the potential deans and vice chancellor without any cases. If without cases mean talk by all the former Tan Sris, etc. But the moment they talk and the moment they end, that's it. That's it, right? They cannot share that to their, when they go back to UC, they cannot share that with their other potential staff in their university for their career development. But now if they have these cases, they bring back, then they can go back to their university, and then they, so that's why the case for teaching is poor. But as far as the PhD research concerned, I think I can see there is a potential to convert that case study into because my PhD thesis on 14 cases, right? I know of one present president of one university who did case only on one company. His PhD is only on one case, right? Only one case. How can, sir? I'm not saying how can. He did it. Another person, lagi terror, I did only on one person, not one company, not one university, but one person. The leader of that company. But of course, the leader is well renowned. And what do? I attended his meeting every day. He even went to coffee. You also go to the bedroom with it. Dapat no. The leadership qualities of that particular person, right? And he got his PhD just based on one person. So I say, well, I do not know, but today you do that, I'm not sure whether all of us will do or not, but he managed to go through. And this was done in France, for whatever reason, I'm not sure. All right, so therefore, PhD depends on the level of contribution we want to look for. Yeah, one thing.
Thank you very much, Professor Zainal Abidin.
Okay, so you want to ask question? No. Do you have a question to ask or what? No. Oh no, something is making your hand go up. Okay.
Could we please have Professor Dr. Prem Kumar on stage to present the token of appreciation to Professor Zainal
Oh,
Abidin?
okay, ada juga Okay, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Okay.
Thank you, professors. Now it is our honor to officiate the signing ceremony between Malaysia University of Science and Technology and Case Writers Association of Malaysia. Please welcome both presidents on stage to sign the Memorandum of Understanding. Thank you all to witness the Memorandum of Understanding. Now, we can have a short lunch break and be back at 2 p.m. Thank you.